Okay folks, so let's get started with still life photography using natural light. Okay, now I'm in the relatively lucky position here. I have a nice big patio window off to the side of me here, okay, but any daylight at all that's coming through, any window light will work absolutely the same. Now what this is going to do is you will hopefully be able to see if I come in close here. The shadow is coming right off the back of the pot and the plant, and it's kind of tailing off, okay, and that's what I want to be trying to capture in my still life here. This is the way I've got it set up, just for that in mind. I've got myself nice and comfortable here. I've got my chair. I don't want to be standing the whole time. Okay, I've got my camera, my tripod and my remote trigger all ready to go. So I will frame up my shot. I'm going to start off with just my two little plants here. Now, if this is awkward for you, if kind of getting into position and having a look through it is awkward, you can absolutely use your live view. Okay, it may well be easier, but especially if, like the D5200 here, has a flip out screen, so I can just look at that and see exactly what I'm going to be getting. Okay, that will absolutely eat your battery. So if you're going to be at this for a while, a few spare batteries is definitely going to be worthwhile having. Okay. So I'm just going to, I'm not actually going to use that. I just don't prefer it nearly as much. So I'm going to get my shot framed up here. I'm going to get my focus. Once I've got my focus and I'm happy with it, I'm going to switch out of automatic focus, okay? Because what I don't want, like I say, I'm going to be doing probably quite a few test shots before I get one that I'm happy with. And what I don't want is for it to have to constantly focus over and over and over again. My camera's not moving, the plants aren't moving, so I'm just going to leave focusing off. Okay, I've got it set once on auto. It's focused, it's fine. I'm not going to need to change that again. Right, so in terms of settings, I'm going to want a bigger aperture on this one, okay? So, and what I mean by that is I'm going to want my aperture around about the f7 to f11 mark, thereabouts, okay? And the simple reason for that is I want everything here in focus, okay? No, obviously don't care about the background, that's just going to be plain anyway, but the plants, whatever my subject happens to be, I don't want the front in focus and the back of the object blurry. I want the whole thing in focus, and that's just the way the style seems to work best. Okay, again, feel free to play about and practice with that. So I'm going to see what I can get now. I'm underexposed, so I'm going just now at let's go F9, I think. Start there, just to make sure everything's in focus here. I'm quite underexposed. I don't really want my ISO too high. I'm going to keep that down to 200, and this is where the longer shutter speeds start coming in. Okay, so this is now down to a fifth of a second. Now that's coming slightly overexposed on the light meter here, but that's essentially, I'm using this point here within the plant itself. Okay, let me bring this in. I'm using basically this point for my focus, and that's where my metering is coming from as well. So I'm getting plenty of light on it, and let's just take a quick test shot. Okay, and I quite like that, it's quite nice and bright, the shadows are very clear. That's actually working quite well. Now I've done this one intentionally because, as I mentioned, composition is key when it comes to still life. Okay, so in essence, again, just coming a little closer here, my plants are essentially facing away from me. Okay, might sound a bit odd, but the leaves are sloping in a particular direction and they are sloping away from the frame. So I'm going to turn these around just to make them a little more aesthetically pleasing. Okay, there we go. Come back here. Now, I also have moved my subject, so I am going to get my focus point back again. And it's minute, it's absolute minuscule difference, but let's just keep things as on track as possible. Okay, so happy with that, and I'm going to take another shot. Okay, quite happy with that. Looks a little bit too much above, a little too much negative space. I'm just going to tweak that slightly. I'm just going to do one more on this before changing anything else. Okay, there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. In terms of still life, they're pretty much always taken straight on. Again, feel free to play about with that, but in general, it's a straightforward shot. Okay, so I'm happy with that just now, and I'm just going to mess up my session a little bit here. I'm just going to start changing some of these things. Okay, one sec. Okay, so I've got the extra plant back in there. Now I'm just going to have a little look here. Okay, obviously I've got a little bit more to one side, so I'm just going to straighten the shot up. Get my focus back in, make sure I'm happy with that. Take a quick test shot here. There we go. I am actually quite happy with that. That's come out a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I like the way the shadows are coming across. You see that in the bottom, they're tailing off just to the edge of the shot there. The extra plant I've added in, because it is a red colour, it's added a little bit of contrast into the shot as well. So I've got the tall red one and the shorter green ones, making a little bit of difference. And what if I just try switching these around? Just because this one is a bit smaller. So again, composition wise, I'm trying to have taller either side. Again, make sure my focus is still where it needs to be. There we go. Quick shot. I don't like that one quite so much. Let's turn this around this way. The reason I'm turning it this way is just to bring a bit more of a slope towards the middle that wasn't quite there in the last shot. Okay, and again, there we go. Okay, I do prefer that one. Yep, quite happy with that. And like I mentioned in the introduction, I'm going to try one with this behind here and just see. I'm not sure if I'm quite liking how that's going to frame up. Make sure that's nice and smooth, as close as possible. Shifting my camera back over. Focus. Okay, that looks pretty central for me. So as I say guys, I am currently shooting at f9, a fifth of a second and ISO of 200. And I'm quite happy with how they're coming out. I do like that one. It now seems a little bit off balance though. If I had two of the smaller ones, which I don't unfortunately, I think I would prefer that. Keep the two front ones relatively level and similar with the bigger one coming out behind. I think that would look really good, but I just simply don't have that option at the moment with the plants that I have. Okay. Now obviously with window light, we are relatively restricted in terms of the shadows that we can use. The light is in a fixed position, nothing we can do about that. If you are however using a table, turn the table around, move it, adjust it, do what you need to do, and that will adjust the shadows. Move it closer to the window, away from it, and that will adjust the length and the strength of the shadows as well. So you can definitely have a play around and see what works for you and what works for the images you end up with at the end of it. I'm also going to try one slightly different one here. I'll do it with a white background first, and I'm going to change that to black background. And I'm just going to take this plant on its own. I'm going to try one smack in the middle. As a little bit of a minimalist, lots of negative space. And then I'm going to try one off to the side. About there, give or take. Yep, okay. And again, just going to give it a focus and take another shot. There we go. Quite happy with that, but I think it might look better on a black background. So, time for a quick change. Quick change is as simple as pulling the blanket off to the side and switching from a white to a black background, and there we go. It says being that simple. Take that out of there. There we go. Right. Okay, and that's it. See, that's where the prep comes in. Super quick change. Now, hopefully I've not nudged anything on my tripod, so everything should be fine there. I'm going to bring this back in a little. Okay. I'm going to try the same shot again. Focus. Now, it's something to watch out for because it's very easy to forget that you've switched autofocus off. And just keep shooting away and you've slightly missed focus. So do watch out for that. Like I say, if you're shooting f9 or so, really shouldn't be a big difference unless you really move stuff out of the way. However, just to demonstrate, if I take the same shot at the same settings but with a darker background, it still works quite well because it is the plant itself that I'm exposing for rather than the background. But it does look a little bit bright. There's some nice highlights on the right side of the leaves. And you'll see the shadow coming across the other side there. But I'm going to try just doing it a little bit darker. Let's bring that, so let's say 1/10 of a second. Okay, I'm keeping the f9 and the 200 ISO and 1/10 of a second. So let's see what that does. Okay, not bad. It's maybe a little on the dark side. So again, and like I say, guys, this is all trial and error. So 1/8 of a second, just make that slight little bit brighter. And I'll go, okay, I'm quite happy with that. Now I'm thinking that might look good in black and white, but I'm going to give that a shot. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here, guys, is try a few different things, okay, and see what I can come up with. A few of the different setups here. I won't talk through every single one of them because you'll be bored. I will carry on a separate video for the trial and error aspect. So if you do want to see literally what I do with each of these different aspects, each of these different subjects that I'm shooting, you can watch that. However, if you want to skip it and just carry on with this video, you'll see what I've got as an end result of each of these, okay? And then once that is done, we'll carry on onto the editing side. Okay, so time to start switching things over.